After studying this module, you shall be able to understand the emergence of the term active aging, learn about the pillars of active aging, identify the determinants of active aging, learn about the different theories of active aging, and also know the different intervention and prevention strategies. Aging as a culmination or a new beginning. Human race is fixed in a process of growth and cessation. Aging could be seen as changes in life as one grows old. Any society, if asked about the aging, would give a stereotypical view where elderly are seen as problem rather than a solution. Keeping the physical deterioration into mind, a very little percentage may fall in this category, but a larger number is of those having independence in terms of social and economic aspect, with lesser disability and much contribution to not only the current generation but society as a whole. Age itself could be divided into forms and types. Psychological age, it connects to a person's psychological adaptability and adjustment with the environment. Legal age, it is decided by the chronological years. Social age, it relates to the ease with which a person fits into the role being set on the basis of societal expectations and values. Biological age, it deals with the working condition of a person with respect to his physiological system. Functional age, it relates to the comparison of oneself with others falling in the same age bracket in terms of psychological working. The problem of defining aging is prevalent for a long period of time as different researchers use different criteria to classify an individual as aged or not. Some distinguish and separate them on the basis of chronological age, while others do so on social, psychological, and physical characteristics. WHO offers the following classification: 60 to 70 years young old, 70 to 80 years old, 80 plus years old. Demography of aging. It is well known that there are vast differences in both quantity and quality or statistics about the elderly population. By 2050, this number is expected to nearly triple to about 1.5 billion, representing 16% of the world population. Although more developed countries have the oldest population profile, the vast majority of older people and the most rapidly aging population are in lesser developed countries. Between 2010 and 2050, the number of older people in less developed countries like India and China is projected to increase more than 250%, compared with a 71% increase in development countries. Active aging and its pillars. Growth of any society or people falling in any age bracket depends on a good health. Health not only includes the physical health, it is an umbrella term which encompasses aspects of mental health, social health, and spiritual health. It is a reality that in the next 20 years the percentage of elderly would double and there would be a vast number of aged whose care and positive progression is to be handled at priority. Life course is like different episodes where past formulates the present and present sets a path for the future. Hence, interconnectedness between affect and perspectives makes a base for actions. Aging has always been seen as a difficult phase where involvement and adaptation to different roles happen. Many psychologists agree that aging is either a product of early developmental tasks or just a period of growth and conflicts where the person is still trying to look for holes from where he could negotiate with his conflicts. Psychology has long based its negative factors perspective for pathology and normal population and growth aspect did not come in the zone of study in the earlier psychological research. With the passage of time, a greater importance is being led to not only recovery but also to adaptation. This adaptation and adjustment formulate the starting thread of active aging. With advancements in the researches and shift from the disability model in psychology to the positive model, a great importance is now led to the aging well. Terms like active aging and successful aging, productive aging and healthy aging are now coming to view and have a different level of dimensions attached to them. A new paradigm in gerontology has arisen which does not concentrate on the delay and death but on enrichment and liveliness. Active aging or successful aging is a concept which includes aspects like having close family and friends, social connectedness, positive attitude about self, achievement and maintenance of life goals, feeling satisfied with the life, having good health, adapted to the changes in the life gracefully, taking care of oneself, etc. Active aging not only emphasizes on physiological aspect but it integrates many domains such as cognitive, social, emotional, spiritual functioning. Pillars of active aging: positive subjective experiences, positive individual traits, positive institutions. Positive institutions facilitate the development and display of positive traits which in turn facilitate positive subjective experiences. Meaning of active aging, successful aging. Active aging has been used in the literature to encompass all processes of aging throughout the life span, specifically emphasizing on the positive aging processes. It is sometimes also called vital aging, as later life is attached to sustained health. According to WHO, health is expressed in terms of physical, mental and social well-being. The basic tenets of healthy aging are interdependence and intergenerational solidarity. Our healthcare has been focused on curing acute or chronic symptoms, providing affordable access to the medical intervention, but less importance is laid on prevention and dependency in later life. The word active refers to the continuing participation in social, economic, cultural, spiritual and civic affairs, not just the ability to be physically active or to participate in the workforce. Active aging is the process of optimizing opportunities for health, participation and security in order to enhance quality of life as people age. It applies to both individuals and population. It helps people to realize their potential physically, socially and mentally. Active aging focuses on giving ample protection, security, care and love. Active aging aims to extend healthy life expectancy and quality of life for all people as they age. As Moody pointed out, the term successful aging or active aging suggests key ideas such as life satisfaction, longevity, freedom from disability, mastery and growth, active engagement with life and independence. Different constituents of active aging extracted based on analysis of earlier definition. These are mental and psychological health, cognitive health, life expectancy, physical health, independent functioning, life satisfaction and well-being, autonomy and control, adaptability, positive outlook, positive self-concept and self-esteem, social support, network and participation, personal growth, financial security, sense of purpose, spirituality, goal setting and hopefulness, and productivity. With the rising population of aged and increasing life expectancies, people are to be continuously engaged in the productive activities and live a healthy, secure and independent life in the later years. Various epidemiological studies have examined the operationalized definition of active aging, and two researchers studied and identified number of studies constituting aged population above 60 and having a sample size more than 100. Across different studies, it was clear that 14 different components of active aging were highlighted. Out of these, physical functioning and freedom from disabilities was included in almost all the definitions. Beyond physical functionality, there were other aspects being studied, but for there no common base visible for the other component in different definitions. A smaller subset of studies has used qualitative methods to identify the components of active aging. These studies provide an interesting contrast to quantitative studies, which focused more on physical and functional attributes. In qualitative studies, older adults were much more likely to emphasize adaptation to illness and other psychological traits, as well as engagements in their concepts of healthy aging. Among qualitative studies, the perspective of older adults appear to differ somewhat by the methods used. For example, focus group emphasized shared experiences related to aging, whereas individual interviews focused more on developmental trajectories and by the culture of origin. Subjective conceptualization of active aging. Many researchers have shown keen interest in the field of positive aging in the last few years. They have reviewed, compared, evaluated, analyzed active aging as a concept. Fellin and Larson did a literature review in the year 2002 to find the definitions as well as factors that might predict active aging. They came out with nearly 7 major elements: life satisfaction, freedom from disability, mastering growth, longevity, independent functioning, positive adaptation, and active engagement with life. Much less work has been done regarding inclusion and understanding of the views of aging individuals. Understanding older people's own criteria and aspects related to aging and active aging could enhance this concept and make it elusive. Glass in 2003 warned against the belief that active or successful aging means no disability and disease. It actually relates to a positive self-perception of a person about his disease, life, thinking, working, goals, etc. In the history of active aging, two schools have developed simultaneously. First, psychosocial school. This relates active aging to mental states like satisfaction, quality of life, independence, etc. Second is biomedical school. This defines active aging as the avoidance of disease and disability. Healthy aging and quality of life. Across the world, countries are experiencing population aging. The growth rate of the elderly population is more rapid in developing countries like India than developed countries. Apart from demographic transition, socio-economic and political changes together with increased individualism have altered living conditions of the elderly. Many faces isolation and lack of the resources for a better quality of life. Today, the aged not only demand that society should ensure their independence and participation, but also grant them a life full of care, fulfillment, and dignity. However, a limited understanding of factors influencing their quality of life is largely responsible for the elderly being denied dignified existence. After all, the last stage of life holds as much potential for growth and development as earlier stages. The diversity among the elderly and varied interrelated influencing aspects from their environment needs significant consideration of researchers and policy planners. As the aging of population is becoming more and more pronounced, the concern for the quality of life and well-being of the older people is also growing in both developing and developed countries. The conventional view is that there is positive relationship between quality of life and quality of human being. A higher quality of life improves the quality of the individual in a mutually self-reinforcing manner, In addition, the care and the quality of life are important determinants of longevity. Active aging and quality of life are end-to-end process at one point or another. The integration of person, his physical being, interaction with others present in the environment, participation with self and others formulate the basis for active aging, which eventually leads to a better quality of life. Determinants of active aging. Physical determinants, the health of a person determines his movability, and this in turn affects the daily working pattern. An elderly person with less physical disability could engage himself in diverse zone of activities. Hence, physical capability is one of the important factors in aging well. Psychological determinants, the mental capability, thinking pattern and cognitive framework affects a person's perspective of life, others and even own self. His psychological and mental strength build on a path for active engagement in activities and mental peace. Economic determinants. With the changing environment and pollution level, there has been rise in disability and decline, and these physical problems are to be dealt with the help of monetary support. It is very important for an elderly to have enough economic support and economic independence so that his living patterns could smoothen up in later life. The finances plays an important role for the fulfillment of their needs, and if there is an independence in the way it has to be spent, then it automatically affects the well-being of the elderly. Social determinants. The indulgence of older people in the social activities, the kind of social support they get from people surrounding them, and the fun activities being performed by them during the leisure time, all of it affects the level of their healthy aging. Emotional determinants. The level of psychological peace and the fulfillment of emotional needs is one of the major predictor of active aging. As the loss of spouse is common and immovability increases, it becomes very important that the emotional aspect of these people should be paid more attention to. Indulging into fun activities and having caring people around automatically increases their level of emotional stability. Independence, control over life, freedom. Curtailment of freedom of one individual can make his or her life as of that of a puppet. It is important for the elderly to have the level of independence and freedom of their own lives, as the number of years they have lived is much more, and even the kind of understanding they have developed by facing different critical situations leads them to a better and more appropriate judgment of situation and of their own acts in those situations. Spiritual determinants. There has always been a pattern seen in the elderly that with the age of concentration on religious activities and spirituality increases. The belief system affects the hopefulness of a person, and this belief of elderly comes from the strength they get by connecting with the ultimate bliss. These religious activities also help them to interact with more people and hence shapes their social life too. Theories for successful aging and active aging. Based on the determinants of active aging, different viewpoints on healthy active has been shaped in diverse theoretical perspective. Biomedical theories. These theories define active aging in terms of optimization of life expectancy while minimizing physical and mental decline and deterioration. These theories focus on minimizing or reduces the disease which aged face. They concentrate on good health, independence in terms of physical functioning, better thinking, reasoning and performing. Just like the distinction between disability and normalcy, similarly people make distinction between usual aging and positive, healthy or active aging. Usual aging process is seen with decline in physical, social, cognitive functioning, whereas active aging concentrate on reduction of these functional loss. No age group is disease-free. It is only how the disability can be reduced and how an active engagement of aged could be increased with life. Psychosocial theory. Just as biomedical concentrates on reduction of physical decline in old age, similarly psychosocial theories concentrate on the enhancing the psychological and social to strengthen the elderly. The societal integration, social cohesion, intergenerational contact, leisure activities, social networks, community work, etc. all comes into the sphere of social aspect, which helps in building a stronger and positive way of living for aged. Even the positive psychological resources built on the core of active aging, different accomplishment in life, zeal for learning new things, setting new goals, helpfulness, satisfaction, positive self-concept, all built on a purpose of life or aged. This purpose leads them to achieve stronger self-esteem, and this esteem affects their perception about themselves. Active aging is a dynamic process. It depends not only on the outcome of a person's past life but also on the ability to grow and develop in future. It is necessary to maintain a realistic perception of oneself, but with this self should move towards a growing channel. It should be noted that for an overall development towards aging well, it is important to take physical, psychological, social and cultural aspect into consideration, and all these should be given equal weightage while formulating a model of active aging for any state, country or nation. Now, interventions. Movement towards active aging. Education provides diverse perspective. The kind and the type of teaching gathered in early life affects the outlook towards positive effects on health and participation in late adulthood. Promoting healthy lifestyle. Special emphasis should be given to promote healthy lifestyle. There should also be healthy settings for elderly like housing, neighborhood, etc. Providing effective service for healthcare and long-term care. The stages and the countries need to build on legal and finance basis for elderly healthcare. There should be full information to elderly about the healthcare services set up for them and even the rights they have on the long-term care facilities. Supporting social integration. Humans are social animals. The love from near and dear ones, close relationships, genuine care and effective social bonds are all formulate an environment for health and active aging. Strengthening diverse family types. Extending social ties beyond the family. It is important for the family to realize their responsibilities towards aged. Intergenerational contact, exchange of information and experiences and even solidarity among family members. All this strengthen family cohesions. Families should make extra effort so that both older and younger generation could benefit from it. Providing security. Active aging need a secure base. Both social and economic security is to be taken care of. Pension schemes, protections from social risk like unemployment, poverty, disability, etc. Family, state, market, society, country and government all have to come together for providing a secure and independent surrounding and life for aged. Encouraging inclusive image of aging. The conceptualization of aging affects the image of it and eventually the behavior towards aged. The mental picture of a person formulates the behavior towards the group or a person. Hence, it is important to bring new images of aging in mass media and in consciousness of the general public, as the existing images does not justify the potential of old age. Active aging needs to be viewed from a multidimensional perspective. It should be placed on a continuum of achievement rather than simple success or failure. In the current scenario, it is important to adopt a broader and much encompassing outlook of elderly and their relevance to society. Summary. Aging means growth and changes in life as one grows old. Age itself is divided into different types: psychological, social, legal, functional. With advancement in society, the medical and negative perspective on pathology has shifted to a more encompassing and positive one. Aging has also been stereotypically credited to decline, disability and decay, but now the importance of aging well, successful and active aging is increasing. The different pillars of active aging are positive subjective experiences, positive individual traits and positive institutions. Various determinants like social, economic, spiritual, psychological, physical, etc. are being studied under the field of active aging. The theoretical model also places great value to biological, social and cultural aspect while explaining the basis of active aging.